So guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the Jlab Go Work Gen 2 wireless on-air headset. Now, this is something that normally costs about $49. You can find it at, what's one of the stores? Walmart, as a matter of fact, happens to have this. Probably Best Buy. I just never really reviewed it because I had so many headsets. But I happen to go into my local pawn shop that I normally go into, and the price tag you see right here is $15, even though this review is still technically on the original price of this product, which is about 50 bucks. So you have clear calls, at least that's what they're saying. We're going to test that segment out with noise canceling mic. Interested? You have 3 connections, Bluetooth, wired, or USB-C dongle. So the blue wire that actually comes with this allows you to connect it to a USB-C device if necessary. It also works as, I'm not gonna say it works as a charger, but at least that's what the website said, or one of the reviewers online said that. So just take that with a grain of salt. USB-C dongle, which is what you would use if you're connecting it to something like a PC. And of course you have a Bluetooth connection for your phones, your tablets. Some computers have Bluetooth also, but for me, I personally prefer 2.4 gigahertz dongle because the connection speed is more seamless instead of Bluetooth. So with that being said, this is everything that it comes with. This does have multi-connect. Looks like it might have an application support. I'm not too sure, but we're going to, yep, it does. Customize your sound experience with Jlab app. And I'm going to show you how the app works on the actual Android device. So with that being said, no need to waste any more time. Let's get right into this review and talk about this. So this right here is what everything comes inside the box. I already took everything out. This is actually an instruction manual. So we'll go over this in the next section so you guys can see everything in its entirety. But first, let's take a look at the actual headset. So this is the USB-C to USB-C that they're speaking about when you actually unbox this product. This can be plugged directly into a computer that uses USB-C for a actual headphone jack. So you'll be able to talk through it. Now, unfortunately, this headset does not have a 3.5 headphone jack. Instead, you're able to talk through it through USB if you choose not to use the Bluetooth function. I know that might be a turnoff for some people, but most modern computers use USB-C connectors now, so teach their own, but it'll take time to get used to. The good thing is that you still have the 2.4 gigahertz dongle right here, and Bluetooth is still also an option. So as soon as you take this off right here, this is the piece, it'll be plugged into the actual headset when you unbox it. The funny part is, even though I got this for $15, it was actually sealed before I opened it. So I'm thinking that no one actually used the product at all, which is kind of sad when you think about it, but it works well for me because it means it's a fresh product. But yes, this is the USB-C dongle that I would use to plug into like a device that may not have Bluetooth, or if I want to use the gigahertz connection instead of Bluetooth. The headset itself is right here. And to be honest with you, I was a little skeptical about this because the cushions are so small, but I do also understand that this is actually for work. It's not, even though you can use it for other things like talking and probably gaming for that matter if you really wanted to, this is really meant for the office worker or a person that's running a business from home to be able to have a professional equipment, professional looking equipment. If you are, in a video or a Zoom call or something, being able to see this boom microphone right here, it just adds a certain level of sophistication in my opinion. Again, it looks old fashioned obviously, but when you tend to see people in a certain setting, you want them to look the look and be able to speak the lingo, and then they're more believable as a worker. But to each their own. That's just perception. Anyway, okay, so right here, when you pull this down, I'm assuming that this is some type of a metal, maybe. I'm not too sure. It's pretty thin, but it looks like this little layer of plastic right here keeps this from bending, so it's pretty solid. I mean, I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. The knobs do swivel right here, as you can see, which is not a bad thing. Where's the physical buttons? Here we go. So this is the buttons on one side, and that is going to be, it's the left or the right? Normally they tell you, okay, so this is the left side. The right side is the one that actually has the microphone on it. So just keep in mind, you have your volume up, you have your volume down right here, and then you have your actual power button that works right here. So far, it's a pretty solid looking headset. I don't see anything wrong with it. I actually like it. For the price tag of 50 bucks, I can honestly say that Jlab normally makes cheaper looking products, but this looks on brand with what they would normally do. And like I said before, it does look pretty professional, but more importantly, is how is the quality, the call quality, the mic quality, the sound quality, and all those things. And we'll go over that in a second. But first, let me show you how to actually sync this to a headset. So the syncing process is going to be pretty simple on this particular headset. All we have to do is, if you see this button right here, you hold it until the button powers on. There you go. You see the blue light, it's blinking. Now I'm going to assume that this is in pair mode right now. Worst case, I might have to hold it for a couple seconds more to put it in pairing mode. But the more modern Bluetooth, the moment you power it on, it automatically goes to sync mode. So you shouldn't technically have that problem. So I'm going to go ahead to the settings right here, Bluetooth. And I'm going to, see it pop right up, Jlab Go Work 2 BLE. I don't know, that's a different name. Oh, and it popped up, the Work 2. So I'm just going to do that. With Android devices, it normally just pops up automatically, or worst case, you just have to go to Bluetooth like I just did, and you can see it. So the Bluetooth is now connected, that fast, that easy. I'm going to go ahead and power it off for you so you know that it's disconnected. There you go. You see how it disconnected just a moment ago, and I'm going to power it back on, and that Jlab sign should highlight. Just give it a moment. All right, and now it's connected. So like I said, the connection process in order to sync it is super easy. As soon as you unbox it, just power it on. You'll see the blue light blinking, and it will automatically be put in pair mode for you. So I'm going to talk to you guys about multi-point real fast. And unfortunately, the way they did multi-point with this Jlab headset, and this is coming from directly the Jlab website because, even though I used the product, I did do some research to make sure that all my information was correct. I didn't want to give you guys bad information. So again, this doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. So the way to use multi-point is you go to the settings, right? Let's say this is already synced. They claim you turn off the Bluetooth, right? And when you turn this back on, because the Bluetooth is disconnected, it's automatically back into pairing mode, which allows you to go and use the second device, whether it's a computer or another phone or whatever it is. And that is how you put it use the multi-point. Now, personally, I'm not sure how the seamless switch between the two devices would work. I would assume you would probably have to turn the Bluetooth back on for the old device, like so. And then when the options for the Bluetooth pop up, you can go ahead and just tap Go Work 2 on whatever device that you're using, and it can switch between the two. I'm assuming that's how you switch between multi-point on both devices for you guys that are wondering. It doesn't seem like one click and then automatically switches over. Like some of these mouse pads, you can actually switch between the types of connections that you have, and then that's how you switch between it. But this one doesn't have that option. You just have to simply sync it to multiple devices. And like I just showed you, and then probably go to the Bluetooth settings once it's synced and just tap on it in order to switch which one you're listening, which device you're using for that particular headset. So, just keep that in mind. So as soon as you tap the Jlab application, it may require you to actually look up your headset. And when you tap the headset, it gives you two options between like an earbud and this. Automatically this is going to pop up and it just shows you your product. So this is the entire application, its entirety and how it works. Let's go through it together real fast. So if you go to settings, you have the option to device registration. I haven't done that personally because, I don't even hold on to devices long enough to do that. But you could change the language in case you're having issues with some type of, language barrier to make it easier for you. We're going to go back over here. The firmware update is already done. Safe hearing is basically a feature that allows you to turn up I don't know if it's called decibel, I forget the exact terminology, but it allows you to, in a sense, limit how loud the headphones can actually be, especially if you're using it for someone else that may be hard of hearing or have some type of issue. You can make sure that it doesn't hurt them. Anyhow, on to the next section, you have music mode and you have movie mode. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just explain it anyway. It kind of changes the sound profile of the device to accommodate whatever it is that you're doing. Personally, I just leave it on music mode because I don't play music on this really. I just more so use it just to speak to other people if I'm in a phone call, if I'm not in a Zoom call necessarily, but Zoom does allow me to use Bluetooth. I've tried this in Discord and so far everyone said I've been crystal clear. So, I just kind of just leave it on the default settings, but to each their own, change it if you want to. You have the option to call controls. You have triple taps, the one tap, double tap, triple tap, and a long press option. Now, the first one will be answer calls, which you have the option to switch between equalizer, hear yourself, reject call, which, you know, one tap more so for the people out there that are interested in just answering a phone call immediately. If you double tap, it will actually, hang up the phone call. And if you triple tap, hear yourself. I actually don't know what hear yourself means right there, but the point is that you have the option to actually customize all of these buttons. Even though they all do the same thing, you can just switch between single, double, and triple tap. Sorry, I'm all starting over my own mouth. Right here, it says button controls. And the button controls is more so if you're playing music or some type of media. This one over here, call controls, is if you're in a phone call, while this one is more so if you're just browsing your phone, changing songs in your in your music settings, things like that, YouTube. So single tap will be pause and play. You do have the option of changing that from what you see right here. Second option with double tap would be Google Siri, which, to be honest, I would never use that. I'm definitely going to change that over time, but I'm just showing you how this works right now. Triple tap is none. You have the option of changing that. And I don't know why long press isn't on. I don't know why we don't have that option of long press, but you know, teach their own. I'll figure it out a little bit later when I do an update on this video. You have the equalizer option, which it looks like they don't give you custom EQs. Custom voice. Okay, so custom is custom. Like if you change it up yourself, you have music and voice. Now, voice would obviously be better if you're trying to listen to other people in a more intimate setting, like working from home or working in an office. It seems like it'll focus more on the voices, while music quality, the way the music is intended to be heard, this does a better job of doing that. But when you look at the differences between the two, it's not that dramatically different, the octave, but you change it the way that you want to, and that'll make it custom. Clear voice, medium background, quiet background, loud background. So for anyone that's wondering what that means, if you're working, let's say a call center, let's say you're working outside or you're working from home and you can hear your background, by putting quiet background, you can make it where your voice is more pronounced than everyone else's. The medium background, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's based on the noise in your background. Now, what I would suggest is doing a recording, have something play in the background and switch between each one and do a sound sample. So that way you can hear which one works better for you personally. I could do that, but because my entire home is quiet, you're not going to get the quality that you're looking for. So just keep that in mind. But if anyone's interested in a follow-up video, I will go outside with this in each setting and show you guys how it works. So, let me know. Hear yourself. Let's actually see what it does. This feature enables mic monitoring while you're on a phone call or video call. Mic monitoring, also called side tone, is a feature that replaces the user's mic input as they speak, allowing them to hear their own voice at a lower volume level, which allows them to monitor their volume and audio quality. This also helps to reduce the effect of talking loudly while the user wears a headset. So, must be on to make a call to activate. So this has to stay on apparently for calls, which, teach their own. I don't really care when microphones kind of mimic what it is that I say, but you will be able to tell with that extra echo in a sense of whether you're too loud. And that does determine a lot of phone calls for me where I'm like, let me lower my octave a little bit because I sound like I'm yelling at the person. But that is the entire Jlab application. Pretty easy and simple to use. If you do buy this headset, definitely download this because this will help you in the long run, especially if you're a person that likes customization. Now, y'all know I couldn't stop this video without doing an actual sound test in terms of music. Remember, some people buy headsets because of work reasons and things like that, while other people buy headsets because they just may want to use this connected to their Xbox or PlayStation, their Switch, their Steam Deck, their PC or whatever. So I'm going to just play some music in the background and kind of give you guys an idea of how well it sounds, like the clarity level and things like that. Let me see. Warzone. The sound profile is really, really good on this, by the way. The quality of music, I'm saying. The bass is top notch. Okay, so there is an issue with this, but let's talk about the good parts before we get to the bad. I do have another song to play, so I'm just going to, no, I'll wait. I'm going to play the second song and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, sounds pretty good so far. Let's get to the audio. Okay, so obviously off camera, I use this headset for different songs, and here's the conclusion that I came up with. The one thing that Jlab is absolutely lacking, in my opinion, is the quality of bass. The bass is there, it does sound good, but if you compare this to, I don't know, let's say a Soundcore cheaper headset, right? The bass feels like it's kind of muffled, like you have your hand over the bass speaker. It still sounds good. It still sounds wonderful. The quality is there. The audio quality is there. I don't think that the music in the background is really suffering, but you could definitely tell that when you compare this to a headset in the same price range from a different brand, especially one that I suggest like Soundcore, it just doesn't quite keep up with the sound profile. It's not nearly as good. But again, the quality is there. Like the voices sound very good and crystal clear. When I heard the violin playing in the background for one of the songs and the instruments, it sounds really good. It meshes very, very well. But like I said, if you have an amazing speaker, then kind of put your hand over the speaker a little bit, even though the sound coming out sounds really good, you can tell that the profile, it's not quite there. Soundcore, for whatever reason, again, it's not a slight against them, they don't seem to like know how to mesh all of the sounds of the background music very well. It seems like if you turn the volume up too high, something suffers. It might be a little, not a stutter, but you can tell it's like in a sense, a greenish effect, where if they managed to get rid of that and regulate the sound a little bit better, this would be a true contender in terms of just quality headphones. But so far, it's not bad. For the price tag, it's not bad. For the battery life, what it offers, the multi-point, so far, it's not a bad headset. And I don't want people to shy away from it for that reason. Now, keep in mind, you're not using this headset in order to go play video games like that. Some people will, but a lot of people are going to use it because it's a work thing. It's actually says the Go Work 2, Gen 2. So that means that they're purposely labeling this headset for the working generation. Now, if you don't work and you happen to use the headset for a communication device, gaming and things like that, you're not going to be disappointed in the quality that it has, but it's not meant for that. It's like you have the option to do it, so they made it good enough where you can, but they didn't make it a specialty, and that's the only problem that I really have with it. It's still pretty good, just minor gripes. But anyway, if you use it for music, you're not going to have a problem. If you're sitting at a computer, typing, doing your work, you play something in the background and one of the windows until you receive a call and stuff, listening to a podcast, it works well. It does the job very, very well. I cannot complain about that. And I think that you won't be disappointed in that. The only disappointment I have really is the fact that the USB-C dongle right here, they should have gave an adapter piece or two of them, one for USB-A and one, or a fitter to fit onto this to plug into a regular PC. That's the only downside, if we're being honest here so far. So this right here is going to be a sound sample of the Go Work Generation 2. Now, I don't know what the Generation 1 does. I never seen it before, or it may be the same product, but just with some extra features and some changes. But again, so far, the headset is very, very comfortable in my head. I don't have any soreness. I don't have any issues whatsoever. It fits very well. The boom microphone is adjustable depending on the face size of the person. And if you're doing some type of recording, this is more so the quality that you're going to get when using this headset. And by the way, in case you're wondering, I'm not talking to you through the dongle itself because they're the 2.4 gigahertz option. I'm actually talking to you guys through the actual Bluetooth. And so far, it's been pretty stable. I haven't had any disconnectivity issues or anything like that. And like I said before, for that person that wants to use this headset connected wired, you can. Though the connection will be USB-C, I would suggest possibly getting one of those splitter cables that allows your USB-C to turn into a USB-A. And they sell them at Five Below, in case you're wondering, or just online. And that way you can convert it to devices that use USB-A, which is the standard USB for most computers. Even though I said at the beginning of this video that a lot of them do use USB-C, it doesn't change the fact that USB-A is still more universally known on one end, so that you can move data and just charge your devices and do things like that. But anyway, this is a sound sample right here. If you happen to like it, then this is definitely a headset that you should consider. The instructions, and yes, I should have did this earlier in the video, but because this video is time stamped, it's okay. Just skip to the part that you want to see. So we already went through what the buttons actually do, but the instructions right here also work for people that don't have a smartphone. They just may want to just plug this up to a PC or something else, or they may not want that bloatware. Or I don't think the Jlab app is bloatware, but some people consider it bloatware where they don't care. They just want to plug and play and be done with it. So let's take a look at this. So right here, this one says charging. It shows you how to charge it. So you would plug this into an outlet and you would charge it through the USB that we talked about right here. That's the USB right here. It doesn't have a headphone jack. The USB-C charger works as the headphone jack. So if you click over here where it says wire connection, MacBooks and some PCs have it where they have a USB-C on the side, and that is how you connect and access the data from your device. You would use that same connector for this, and it will work and double down as a headphone jack. So just keep that in mind if you want to use it in corded mode. Now, I already showed you how the application works. Let's go ahead and flip this over right here. You have the multi-point connection. I actually walked you through the process of how to do that. Switching between them is pretty simple, like I said before, and just go back to that section of multi-point if you're interested in seeing that. You have the button functionality right here. I already talked to you about that. Again, this is everything that the application itself covers, but I figured you may want to see it in the paper form too to make your life a little bit easier, so you can just screenshot this section. You have the microphone mute on and off. So if you flip the microphone up, it's muted. If you flip it down, it's unmuted. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's how it works. I just wanted to make sure, because I'm looking at the microphone right now, I want to make sure there was no physical button. So yeah, if you flip it down, it's on. If you flip it up, it'll automatically go on to the mute status right there. Again, I would test that out on any device that you're using so that you can get the right angle of where it's muted, so you won't end up saying something ignorant during a meeting if you're talking badly about someone. So test your products out before you just blindly believe a video. USB-C dongle right here, we talked about that. That's right here. Unfortunately, my PC doesn't use USB-C dongle. Instead, it uses USB-A, which is the standard one that most computer devices use, especially towers and things like that. So I did use a connector on this and it did work, but every connector that I use doesn't necessarily work. You got to have one that's skinny enough to fit this comfortably. So just keep that in mind. Excuse me. 9 times out of 10, I'll be using it under Bluetooth. And then right here, you have the Bluetooth connection, which is basically shows you how to connect it. And we already went over all of these sections. But again, for the person out there that just wants to screenshot this so they have it for their records, I'm going to flip this over, do that, pause the video when you get a chance and screenshot on the part that you want. So that way, if you ever lost the instructions, I'm like a broken record, you have it. Anyway, let's go into the last section. So the question is this actually worth the asking price? So let me answer this in multiple ways. One is yes, and 2 is going to be no. And the no answer isn't really that bad. I just want to give you guys some options. Again, Logitech, there are many companies, SteelSeries, there are so many different companies out there that make over-the-head headphones. You have Alienware, you have Jlab, you have JBL, so many companies out there. What makes this stand out over those? Well, number one, this is being sold at a Walmart. A lot of products from Jlab is being sold at Walmart. I actually bought a couple. Let me show you. This is a Jlab mouse, the ergonomic mouse, which I'll have a review coming soon. I like this mouse. It was like $20-something. And then you also have the Jlab keyboard, which is also right here too. Wireless keyboard that I did on the video with the knob. Really good keyboard. This is about $69.99. No, I got them at Best Buy, as a matter of fact. This one is sold at Best Buy too, but I happen to get it at the pawn shop. So the availability of the Jlab will be, you can just go to a store, your local Walmart, and go pick it up. The price tag is $49.99. Do I think it's worth it? Well, yes. You have a 55-hour battery life. You do have multi-points, so you can switch between devices. Even though it's not as seamless as other multi-point devices, it's still available. You have the USB-C dongle. So if you're using, let's say, dual monitors, you're working in an office building, that little USB-C hub probably has a connection in order for you to connect this so that you can use this headset. And you also have the option to use it USB-C to USB-C, or you can use it corded, plug this in, USB-C to USB-A, and still connect it to a PC or something like that. So the option is still there. You don't have to use the cord that it comes with. You can use any USB-C cord based on the connection. So that's a good thing. For the people that hate the dongles, again, you also have that direct connection, which will work with your PC if you choose to use it that way. The only downside to this headset, in my opinion, is, oh boy, I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's just a multi-point. It's not as seamless as I want it to be. This should have came with a connector that had this connect to this by USB-A. That would have made a lot more sense, but instead they gave you USB-C. They expect people to, I guess, upgrade eventually to this, which everyone doesn't have that. So it is what it is. Outside of that, I don't have any issues. I don't have anything bad to say about it. The headset is comfortable. It works well. The quality of the sound is very, very good. This is meant to be used for everyday office work. And it still has the option where if you decide to play music through it, it sounds pretty good. If you connect it to a Steam Deck or some other device, you can communicate with people online and you will still sound very, very good. Trust me, this is no Boku mic. But anyway, that's all I got for you. I do like it. And the bad aspects really aren't that bad. No product is perfect, but this does a pretty good job for the price tag of staying in the middle ground of not being too expensive and not being too cheap and still standing tall, at least in my opinion. And if you happen to find it for $15, you better pick it up. It's worth it. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video.